This week on the Talk Shop, our friend Jared Kramarsky. Woo! Say that 10 times fast.
I dare you.
1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Talk shop. Talk shop. Sitting around and hanging out in the talk shop. Talking about art and hoping to get back to work. Get in touch with those of us. We got all kinds of good things to discuss in the talk shop. Talking in the talk shop. Hanging out in the talk shop.
Oh, so loud. Let's not do it so loud.
Yeah, don't deafen me this week.
It's Jared Kramarsky.
This week, Kramarsky.
Jared Kramarsky.
Yeah, that's a mouthful. But we learned so much about him today. He's a great kid. I want to call him a kid because he's only 22 years
He
old.
probably wouldn't like that.
He probably wouldn't like that. He's
Mm-mm.
actually a very mature young man.
That's right.
Very articulate,
And dependable.
helpful, wonderful
Mm.
technician.
Kind
Artist.
and sweet and what's that word when you don't talk about yourself very much? I can never think of it.
Unpretentious. Oh yeah, you don't know. that.
I wouldn't know the words.
You wouldn't know it.
vocabulary. Let's see, what's the word?
We adopted him as a technician because he is one of the most helpful people I have met in the last couple of years when it comes to theater. If he doesn't know how to do something, he will figure it out.
He'll learn on the spot.
And then every show he's been a part of with me, he's always contributed to make it a better experience
That's
for the
right.
audience and
That's
for
right.
all of us.
He did. And I have to thank Mr. Bing Bruce for bringing him into our lives, because for our cabaret, he said, oh, I'm going to bring a helper, a tech guy, an
Yeah.
assistant. And lo and behold, there was Jared. And we've never been the same. And he's so helpful to us. We never want to let him go.
Yeah, he's never going to get rid of us now.
Mhm. We're going to be stalking him
Gonna
and
be
in the
like,
middle of the night, like, Jared, we need you to edit this.
He's like, I said maybe, leave me alone. No,
Love him.
Jared Kramarsky here
Jared.
today. Jared
Woo!
Kramarsky in the talk shop.
Talk shop.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Jared.
Oh, wait, here, let me turn this up. How have you been?
I've been good for the last, I only saw you, what, like 10 hours ago?
Hours ago,
12 hours? Yeah.
approximately. So
Because-
anyway, we like to say welcome. Welcome to the talk shop, Jared.
Salute.
Jared.
Cheers. To water. Yay. I don't drink alcohol.
Well, we're
Well,
not drinking.
We're not drinking alcohol.
Oh, is it? Oh, nice.
You're a rock star,
It's
baby.
a little too early. For,
That's fair.
not that I wouldn't have a little bit right now, but
I mean, that doesn't sound outside of your reach, Kami. To.
He knows you. Familiar. How are you, Jared? Like in life? Like, how have you been doing in life? Because we didn't really talk to you about that yesterday. We just
I'm doing okay. COVID has messed things for everyone, but I mean, I had plans that were messed up. Like, I thought I was going to be getting more into the film business with a friend's dad in like working on sets and stuff like that. But then
Yeah.
COVID messed that up for like 7-8 months. And then I'm just not really connected with them anymore.
yeah.
it's
but,
not the
you know.
Is it Bruce's?
Yeah, it's the Bruces.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's how we met you.
Yeah.
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 So it was just COVID. It's been nothing but like COVID, just like not hanging out as much anymore.
Right. We're all feeling that for sure.
That's why
Yeah.
we're sitting in the garage right now.
Yeah. It sucks.
I
But-
appreciate you spelling my last name correctly.
We tried.
Well,
I
I,
appreciate it.
I checked. Yeah, that was hard to
Fit.
cram your name on there.
I'm like,
Ah, ha, 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 ha.
oh, he's never heard that before.
I actually haven't, honestly.
New one. Well,
Yeah, I
just-
mean, it's not, it's like picking the lowest fruit, but it's like no one's done it yet.
That's what we do right here.
I
Yeah.
picked the low
It's
fruit.
terrible at high fives. When did we meet you? Wasn't it during the cabaret and the Bruces brought you in?
Oh yeah, they brought me on because like I said, I had started unpaid, but still liking I was only doing it for the experience. Came on, was helping like wire cables and stuff like that. That was like my second-ish time doing anything for live theater. Because my first thing was earlier that year for Into the Woods. So that was my first time doing like any sort of like cabaret thing. Going early in the morning to school at like 6 or 7 in the morning, doing like math or whatever subject, and then just having like a full day of school. And then late at night, actually at some point it was also that I was working for the college. So I was working for the college too. Still, I was there, learning how to do the soundboard and stuff like that. And then we would hang out until like 2 in the morning, and then I would get like 4 hours of sleep, and then wake up, go to school, and do the whole thing over again. And I did that for like 3 months. And
I can relate so much because I mean, you're the next generation. That is exactly what we did. I mean, when I was at college, we always went to the shows because we were just in theater, even if we weren't in them. And the Ryan Livesey and Piper, and they just sit there while the rest of us are doing something. And I worked at Mount San Jacinto for Mr. Being Bruce.
really,
So yeah, I did all that same stuff that you're talking about. So it sounds so familiar, and yet it's like the next generation picking
Yeah.
up the torch.
Did you ever run the soundboard?
I was not in sound. He had his office back then over in the
Mhm.
library.
Oh.
And I was kind of just like his assistant.
Teacher's assistant.
Yeah, he felt sorry for me not having a job. So he's like, well, you can come work for me and we'll call you my assistant. So I basically sat there, and I'm trying to remember what I even did.
I was a teacher's aide in college for Mr. Morioni, Phil Morioni.
Oh,
And that's how I met Bing, because we were both kind of new to the college back then. And Bing was also one of his tech helpers.
mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I was introduced to Bing and Michelle many,
Yeah,
many,
lots-
many moons ago.
Yeah, lots of history back there where you're talking about hanging out.
How long have you been going to college?
Yeah.
Too long.
You're like, I'm over it.
That was me.
I mean,
too.
I'm going for my associates, and I think I've been in college for like 3.5 years. So I went to college for digital media. So like Photoshop, CAD, stuff like that. Because I still have an interest in that, but it's like I know how to do all of this. Like this is so boring to me. And I was like, I would rather not do college than do these classes. They seem so boring. So then I just kind of put it to the side and started doing like stuff I wanted to do, like guitar. Like the other one that came up was the acting class.
Worked with you in the first cabaret, and I remembered you because when we did when we were up at RHP doing Miss Firecracker, I was in need of help. In so many ways, I needed tech people badly.
Maybe it was Bing that gave you my number, or someone gave me my number, or maybe it was through Facebook. I honestly can't remember.
Just kind of like begging you,
Yeah.
like, hey, Jared,
Yeah.
can you please come and help us out? And you did. And
That was
that's,
so nice.
it was like, oh,
You saved us.
when you came into Firecracker, you just kind of you were just so helpful.
Yeah, and
I tried to be.
he wanted to say took over, but that would be kind of an insult because you weren't like pushy.
You were.
You were more like, what can I do? And
Mhm.
that's the best question, just to let you know for future reference, just even as a man, that is the best question you can ever ask a woman. What can I do to
Yeah.
help? But then also, of course, as a tech guy, you're like, I don't know, you said you might not want to go into that, but you're like gold to people like us.
Mhm.
You are invaluable. We have to have you. And so I would think you would have your pick of anything you wanted to do as a tech person. People are just, you're a high commodity at this point.
Well, yeah. And
Yeah.
plus, and then after Firecracker,
and you were so good in it and so helpful.
we asked you to come help us with the Christmas show. And
Mhm.
I wanted to bring that up, especially because not only was it our first
Show.
real
Play.
play.
Yeah.
It was a 3-person play. When I got a look at that script, the Christmas story script, and I started going through it and realizing how many sound cues there were in that show and how important they were, I started to get scared. And I was like, I don't know how to do this. You came in and I was like, okay, Jared, go for it. And you just took over.
Yeah. And it was awesome. You bailed her out.
You
And it's
helped.
hard work.
Well, you were just so enthusiastic about it, and you were
Helpful.
You just made the show so much better.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I had to teach myself a lot of stuff during that show. Yeah, I'm very much a proponent of essentially laying. I might have even told you, Kami, like I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I will figure out how to do this. I'm very much like that, where like, I mean, I had to download a whole new program because I think there was one that I was trying to do and it just wasn't working. And I was like, I'm not going to deal with this. And I just tried something new. So that whole program, I was slowly figuring out throughout the rehearsal process how to make work. So how to make it like fade out when I needed it to and stuff like that. How to like make stuff cut off and things start right away. It was just a whole process of just playing with it. And that's how I've learned doing stuff. It was very, very sound heavy.
After I saw your work, and I was like, okay, Jared, just do whatever. I let you pick the music. I let you pick the, I was like, I didn't care. I just trusted you.
I do also do my best work when I'm like that. We're just like, I'm very, we might be able to get into this later, but like, I also like video editing. So I am editing for a friend right now, just for free. So like essentially what I do is like, he gives me the raw footage. I do whatever the heck I want with it. I send it to him. And he's like, change these few things. I was like, cool. Cause we have very much the same type of comedy. So I do my best work with that, with anything. We're just like, I have free reign, and then I give it to someone. They tell me what they like or what I should change. I change it and continue going. That's personally when I do my best work.
Well, the new thing for me, and
it's literally, she just taught herself during this COVID thing because we were doing the Zooms, and she had to do it, and I didn't have time, and I love to do it, but I mean, it's so time consuming, especially when you're like us and you're not real familiar and you just kind of have to. So she had this huge learning curve to go through, and she did great. She's learned so fast.
Well, it's been a year since I started doing it, and I just use the iMovie.
And we're old dogs, so learning new tricks is really hard.
Right.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, well, you had said, let me clarify though. I want to know, when you first got into college, that was kind of what you were looking at doing. And then you said you didn't want to do it. And so
you mean digital media?
Yeah. Am I getting it confused? It's not the same thing?
It can be. Digital media was more, I believe there was some video editing, but the course was more focused on like kind of like 3D modeling, Photoshop, stuff like that. And then you could do video editing. But I don't know, like I've just found like I think I blanket like flat statement, unless it's like an outlier. I do not like school. I never have. I've never.
Yeah, you're not alone in that. I'm getting the sense that you're more of an artist than you might have thought you were.
How do you mean?
You seem like you might have been a techie primarily, and now you seem to be going more into things where, guitar, that's an art form, acting is an art form, more like our kind of a world, as opposed to a lot of techies I know are more the other side of the brain, like they're into math and they're into
they wouldn't be caught dead on a stage. No. Like they don't even like actors.
Right. See, I think I might be a weird techie in that sense, because I think you really need to know both sides for either type of person. Like an actor really needs to know what it's like to be a techie. They need to be thrown into the deep end of that side of the story to really appreciate that side. And I think techies need to, be thrown onto the stage or thrown into an acting class and realize like it can be fun in games, but I mean, both sides can be fun in games, but both side also has its like troubles and stuff like that. but I think I agree, because I never thought I don't know what voice was being amplified, if it was my own or if what other people have told me, but I've always felt like I couldn't do stuff. So like singing, I'm learning how to sing and realize that, hey, with time, in like 5-10 years, I can say to people, I can sing. It just takes time and practice, and I never thought I could do that. Same with music. It's kind of on the wayside right now, but that's the same. I never thought I could do stuff, which sounds very weird, but it was very a self-confidence thing. But after taking the acting class, I mean, I am sort of tooting my own horn, but like knocking it out of the park with Into the Woods, because that could have been a complete failure on my part, and it wasn't.
Well, and for your first show, that's a huge.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean-
I'm like I said, I never thought I could do stuff. So like once I did a good job for Into the Woods, or did a good job in um Every Christmas Story Ever Told, or freaking anything, I was like, oh wait, this is something I can do. I can do this. I can make this something, and that's what I'm slowly going towards. And I think from that, I've realized I really want to do. I want to do anything and everything under the entertainment branch. I want to sing. I want to act. I want to do theater. I want to edit. I want to be in movies. I want to edit movies. I want to do anything and everything to make myself and other people either happy or sad, or just make people feel something. I think is the best way to put it.
So you're just like you want to be a well-rounded, artistic type, which is,
Yeah.
that's those people are rare to have all those skills on both sides of the stage.
yes.
Because everybody does a little bit of something. I mean, Debradawn's costumer, and she's a set dresser, and
Anything visual,
anything
kind of
visual, design
my
elements.
bag.
That's
And
fair.
then, I have a little bit of musical background, and I can sing, and I can
Mhm.
now I can do a little bit of editing, but that was like forced upon me.
That's
I was
fair.
like, if you want to do something, you got to learn something new.
Mhm.
And lots of times that's how it is, and
Mhm.
especially this year. But you told me you had your first role at
No, my first role was only last year, before COVID.
was it Sister Act?
Yeah, it was Sister Act. That's my first role, but it never went on. It was canceled because of COVID.
Oh, so you
Boo.
Yeah.
have only had your roles like with us, like doing our stuff, or have you done other stuff acting wise?
So Sister Act was the first role that I got. I know a ton of people, because it was like the week before Tech that COVID hit, and then it got canceled.
Oh,
So we're pretty far along, but if I'm being honest, we needed like 4 more weeks anyway. I mean, I'm a very practical person, in that like I can look around and see like shit is hitting, or poop is hitting the fan. I'm just like, we need more time. Like I'm very practical, because I think a lot of people in theater can be like, no, we've got this. And I'm just standing there like, you literally don't know any of your lines. We don't have this.
Because
that's right.
you're a realist.
That's
I
right.
don't like people that are like, oh, it'll all
be
work itself
fine.
out.
Yeah.
No, the only reason people think that is because of people like us who know it's not fine and have to make it fine.
Yeah, somebody will take over and make it great. It's not going to be me,
Yeah,
but
it'll be fine. I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah.
You gotta take the wheel.
Because that was the first time I auditioned. That was the first time I got casted, both on the same musical. It was the first time I sang. It was the first time I attempted to learn dance moves. I can't dance. It was a lot of firsts, and it was also the first play that got canceled for me. So just like, it's a ton of firsts, and I'm perfectly fine and happy with that. Process wise, it's really, I can say for performing as a techie, I have just as much anxiety and nervousness as anyone on the stage, I think. Especially with, well, only comparing the soundboard, I think, because that's the only thing I've really, oh, I guess I was also, crew hand for Miss Firecracker, but like techies still have to be on cue, have to know at least know the cue lines, or be, not have their head in the sand or anything like that. For the techie side, there can be a lot, but I feel like that the techie side of stuff is more it's more hands-on during tech week or previous weeks where it's just like you have to get all the kinks out and then you're set. I think for acting, there's even still on stage, there can still be accidents and stuff like that. But I feel like the accidents that happen in theater are more and this isn't a slam against actors, but I think it's more actor based than it is like technology or tech based.
And it's still exciting because there's a lot of magic. When
But
you're in the theater, there's magic.
the difference between tech people and actors is when you're an actor, you're out there and you're in front of the
Yeah.
whole, you are like, it's just you. And it's a very surreal experience for me. And when you're out there doing a scene, it kind of like it's like you're in an alternate universe or something.
It is.
It's very surreal. It's like, oh my God. You really have to go into this different headspace.
You do. And just talking about it, I feel so sad. I miss it so much.
Well,
It's-
we're excited to see what you do, Jared. I mean, we've been watching you. You're part of our play reading group.
That's right. You're one of us as Harvard Street Theater Company. We count you as one of our people.
We count you as a person. We
Oh,
count you.
good. I'm glad I have the rights of a human being.
Yes, and you can do stuff.
Oh, thank you.
You can do stuff.
You can do it.
This van play is a certain level of seriousness and goofiness that I enjoy watching, but find it really hard to act.
It's weird to us because you are so typecast. You
As
seem
Mike,
yeah. You
film
seem-
at 11, yeah, like that one. Like I think that's one of my favorite lines because that's when Mike is really just like losing his shit.
I think that's where the comedy comes from with Mike is
Yeah,
when he starts to lose it.
and he's so
And
together.
and it's not because he's trying to be funny. It's just that when he gets mad, it's funny.
exactly. And that
Like-
that was really that was what I was
It's
I
hilarious.
think referring to is that was what was hard for me. It's like where to draw the line of being too serious or like now finally being able to realize exactly that where it's like when he's mad, when
Right.
the stuff he says is funny to the audience, but not necessarily funny to him.
Right. He's not trying to be funny.
No.
It's just
Exactly.
the situation is funny.
Yeah.
The audience feels for him, so they laugh. You know, it's
Right.
Yeah.
like it's that kind of comedy. Whereas other characters are just blatantly
Ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Yeah. So one of the things I really like about you, Jared, is that you validate people.
Mhm.
Seriously. I mean, like, I think our personalities mesh with your personality so well, and that's mainly on you because I think anybody would get along with you.
Ever since I was young, when I had I remember having a CD player. That's how long ago it was. It was a CD player. I think I was like 7. It was a CD. Oh, be quiet. It's old technology now.
I had a track player,
she
but
had an
anyway.
No, I had a portable CD player. And I had. Do you guys know High School Musical?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a CD of High School Musical, which I think was my first real I don't know if foray is the right word, but interaction with any sort of musical, whether you want to call it a musical or not. But I remember listening to that as well as many other songs, and just at like 6 or 7 years old, and imagining myself on stage,
That's
like singing or playing an instrument with my cousins. Like I remember I've always had that, and I've always wanted to be on stage.
it really sounds to me like you need to perform. So that's definitely something that you should pursue. Where do you see, you have plans? You have like goals for that? Are you thinking you'll make money doing this or?
I honestly, through anything I do entertainment wise, it's never about the money. I do not care if I make a dime doing this. I honestly could not care. I could have a day job working 9 hours a day in something that I only kind of like. And then at night, either sing or voice act, do something that I enjoy. And if I make a couple bucks doing that, then I'm fine doing that. I really want to get into voice acting. So like voicing cartoons or commercials or audiobooks, really anything. That's kind of what got me into acting anyway. Because like before I took the acting class, I had no interest in anything acting or musicals or plays. It was kind of like that sort of entertainment where it's just like, I don't know where to start, so I'm not going to. But I started watching. I'm a huge nerd. Do either of you know what Dungeons and Dragons is? I imagine you know of
I
it.
literally said that. I
Yeah.
literally said that before we started. We were looking on your Facebook and we're like, what's he into? I'm like, what is it? Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, no, that's the only reason I started acting. It's super about being a kid again. You get to fight stuff, you get to kill stuff. It's fun, and then it's come full circle because now I know how to act, and I'm playing D&D, and I'm a lot better at it and having a lot more fun. But to go even more full circle, I kind of want to do voice acting too, because the image of being able to voice anyone, no matter what you look like. I could be a beetle. I could be a car. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter what you voice or what you look like when you voice something. And I really like that.
There are a lot of avenues that you can take.
And
Yes.
really, you're only as good as your partner. Whoever you're
That's
acting
true.
with, the group of people you're with, you're only as good as them.
That's true, especially in a play.
What's the saying? You're only as good as the sum of your parts.
Yeah.
I think that's the saying. I think that's a good thing to
Yeah.
go by.
I think you're a great example of a
Yeah.
true artist type
Yep.
theater person,
Mhm.
whereas it's just inherently in you, and you
Yep.
grew up wanting to do it,
Yep.
and you never know who's going to see this show.
Yeah, and who's gonna, branch out from here, and we'll be able to say, "Hey, we knew Jared.
We know
He
Jared.
was one of us.
Yeah.
Before
very
he became famous."
And then you can thank us when you win all the awards.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll thank you when I'm up there at the Oscars. I don't know shows.
Yeah.
I'm imagining it.
Okay, can I ask my questions
Okay,
now?
ask your questions. You're on.
Okay, well, you ask your favorite one because
What's your favorite color?
this is her favorite question.
It's always changed. I think people, when they say that they have two favorite colors, it's like my first favorite and my second favorite, but like my two actual favorite colors that are tied and can change are pink and blue. I think there's a color that's I think it's called like electric blue. It's like light like blue.
Yes.
And then I just like pink, like any shade of pink. Well, okay, I hate hot pink. I don't like hot pink, but like pastel pink.
Aw.
Yeah.
If you could only choose one type of food to eat for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
One type, as in one cultural.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with that.
Well, Yeah.
Uh,
that's the question. So,
Well, there's the question. You do what you want with it.
yeah, she's analyzing the question. See,
That's really hard because I love food.
you
We-
too.
I
yeah.
think it's got to be if I could be so grand and so big in my choice, I think it would have to be. I think it's got to be Japanese food. I love sushi. I love the Japanese curries. If I could be grand and include like Asia and China as well, I know they're completely different places, but like, I mean, freaking sushi or Chinese food, like all those types of like Asian country foods.
Well, hey, Jared, this has been fun, and thank you for showing up and talking at us.
Absolutely.
Coming to the talk shop,
Shop.
and
Is that your theme song?
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen our
dude, you
theme
gotta
song?
watch our first episode with Jason.
Yeah.
I will.
And for a little,
I'll send you a link.
we make
Please do.
fun of you.
I'm not usually a person to talk about myself. I like talking with other people, if that makes sense. And I think I kind of did that with this. I kind of push attention off of me sometimes, but that's because I like hearing what other people have to say. I've never been interviewed before, so it's quite interesting.
Well,
Fun.
now you'll see it when it goes out there. And if you like it, you can share it with all your people and be like, "Hey, this is me! Yay, me! I can do stuff."
I can do stuff. That's my. I'm gonna get that tattooed on my face. I can do stuff.
On your
My new-
face? Did you say on your face?
Yeah, right over the eyes. Just I can do stuff.
You do you.
Please, not your face. You wouldn't get nearly as much.
No,
On your eyelids, you can write.
I'll do it under my eyelids so I can lift them up.
Ow! I can't even-
That's
Wow, that was Jared.
Jared is-
Oh, he rocks so much.
You know what? He's a great conversationalist.
He is. He's so good at that. That's my favorite part about Jared. Of course, he's really helpful too. And like in a crunch, oh, he's so nice to have on your team.
Yes, we
Mhm.
recommend.
That's right.
We'd like to thank Jared for coming and
Yes, thank
talking
you,
to us
Jared.
on
We
Zoom.
love you.
And we'll be seeing you soon.
Mhm.
Join us next time on the Talk Shop. We've got all kinds of plans. If you would like to be a guest on the Talk Shop, you can do that by contacting us at hstc@thedvac.org.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'll get on
easy.
there and be like, hi, how are you? And you'll be like, I'm great. I want to be on the Talk Shop.
Okay.
I'll be like, well, what do you want to talk about? And you can be like, myself.
Of course.
And that's what we like to talk
Yeah,
about.
we'll talk about you too.
We'll do it.
And then we'll broadcast you to the whole world.
Yeah. If you have something to promote,
Mhm.
if you're an artist
That's
of
right.
any kind, we support you.
Yeah.
So thanks for showing up.
We love you.
Yeah. We love you.
We love both of you.
We love all three of you.
Yeah,
that
it's
have
up to
tuned
3 now,
in.
right? It's up to 3
No,
likes.
yeah. Please like and subscribe. Don't make us cry. We're gonna cry every time.
Yeah.
Please. Okay,
Please.
that's me begging. That's the end of the begging.
Yeah, no more begging. We don't beg.
That was our show.
That we really hope that the sound went really well. Because now we are both on board with the fact that, yeah, we need really good sound. So I think I'm going to purchase a boom.
Boom. Because we're not loud enough.